Hi, good morning. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2, and certainly peace and blessings be upon you this day. We are going to get right back into the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. We are now in Chapter 3. This is Take 19, and I do believe we're not in Chapter 3. Let me correct that. We did Chapter 3. We are in Chapter 4, and Chapter 4, I'm going to just reiterate to you what the title of Chapter 4 is Communications. With this Take 19, we are going to finish Chapter 4 and go right into Chapter 5. So let's go ahead and get it started. And it reads as such. These are the questions. This is the call. A yea or nay response is expected to be forthcoming. So the next time a black man is found or heard elaborating on what blacks should do to get out of their predicament and to reestablish values in the black family, to save the children, ask him to read this chapter. Take positive action, or suggest he hush and stop fooling himself. They are the only men on earth who insist on trying to talk themselves into a better condition instead of working for one. The black man annoys a lot of people who identify him by his so-called skyrocketing ego. It seems that just about anything he brags he can do that is different from how things are usually done is referred to as ego tripping. He is charged with having an undeserving value for himself and is too self-centered. Thinks he's great, does a lot of unsubstantiated tall talk, and when in the trance talks like he has the whole wide world in his hands. The dimension of his ego libido fluctuates from big, bigger to biggest. And his ego is just as spry and sturdy as any other male mammal and stands for his last clutch for life. It is the European male who has always set the clearest example of having the greatest amount of king-size ego. What size of an ego did it take for European explorers to travel around the world and decide that wherever they stopped, they had a right to claim the land? Rename it and put the people already residing there under their authority. And what is the depth and breadth of an ego that's convinced that they are solely in charge of distributing information, according to their own writings, to the rest of the world, by claiming that they are sacred leaders of all civilized standards? And what kind of an overblown ego tells them that while they do rank as the least number of people on earth, that they have the right to claim the supreme being, God, as a member of their sparse race? If anyone has ever over-exaggerated their worth, power, or desires, it is the white man, not the black man. And then these same self-proclaimed world leaders has the nerve during the conflict between Iraq and Kuwait to rush to Kuwait side, expressing shock and outrage at Saddam Hussein's savage disrespect for human life in order to gain control of another territory. Saddam was charged with invading Kuwait, plundering their villages, enslaving the men, and raping the women, taking control of their natural resources, and stacking claim to the entire area. Saddam was further lambasted for accomplishing all this by brute force, trickery, and sophisticated weaponry. Ironically, Saddam's methods exactly parallel with the war tactics used by the white man when he claimed to have found America and set upon the Indians with a vengeance. It was the same cowardly, self-serving egomania that was used by the Dutch, the British, and the French in Africa, Australia, and multiple surrounding islands. There is absolutely no difference at all. And the white man has the nerve to get misty-eyed and sentimental when singing the national anthem, and experiences great pride at overpowering American soil and building his own civilization. This is the kind of discard they have for all other forms of human life, if it doesn't look like them. Even in territories around the globe where they number the least amount in the population, they are in charge. They are the rulers of any non-white people in the area. The question is, who gave them the right to claim the whole earth as theirs and to be boss over everybody else on it? Now we proceed to chapter 5. As long as we keep getting on education that continually leaves us in the position of begging white people for a job, our so-called education is of no value at all. We must learn the skills that will provide us with freedom of employment and unlimited opportunities. We must learn to hire ourselves. Black brother, what does the white man teach you that will benefit you as an independent black people? What do they teach you of excuse me, decency and respectability, so that the decent moral people of the earth will respect you as an equal among them and receive you as a visitor to their country, to have the freedom to be accepted into their moral, respectable social equality? Black man, I warn you to be careful of how you lay your head in the lap of the modern day Delilah. Do not be a prey to Delilah and her army of white men who are against you. Elijah Muhammad, messenger of Allah to you all. And I just read the inscripting over here is where I just read that from. Now we're actually going into chapter 5. The title of chapter 5 is Education. Education. And it reads as such. Now, the education of the black man has changed drastically over the past several years. The definitions and responsibilities of the compulsory public education has been altered depending on the social politics regarding its value, which often changes every 4 years. Teachers and instructors have been required to incorporate their teaching techniques with lessons on self-control and to also function as disciplinarians. Children are now showing up for class dressed inappropriately, sleepy, carrying no utensils for participation, so don't have no supplies, loud and unruly and disrespectful and combative. Teachers find beneath all these layers of personality deficiencies that black children score low and remember little of what they learned in their previous years of school, and are indifferent to approaching new topics of learning. Teachers' salaries are too low. Wage increase are bleak, and many have left for better paying jobs in the private sector. Half monitors are replaced with police or security guards, and that was Hall. Hall monitors are replaced with police or security guards, and many teachers have been attacked by irate parents and terrorized by students. The era of school being a happy, fun-filled, organized institution is over. Public schools now, especially from 9th grade on up, feel lucky if they can keep attendance at a decent level to justify their existence, and feel blessed if they can just get all the children to stop talking at the same time, or at least long enough for them to take the roll. Fewer children take books home or complete homework. Parents rarely show up at PTA or other school functions, and all involved agree that public education has failed. The overall scholastic achievement of the black male is reportedly at its lowest ebb since 1954, when the Supreme Court declared segregated schools and recreational facilities unconstitutional. Hard civil rights and legal battles were fought yearly to secure what the black man of the early 1960s perceived as equal opportunity to education. These moves signaled a new, better chance to gain knowledge and skills will prepare black men for acceptance into American workforce. Many blacks benefit by integrating predominantly white colleges and universities and manage to uncomfortably learn more from the more qualified teachers and professors who now headed their classes. Busing elementary black children into white schools located in white neighborhoods was very traumatic, but was doggedly accomplished. This penetration was complicated, and no studies were made to determine the psychological adjustment black children had to make to comply with their parents' and school board requests of forcing them into places where they were not wanted. By 1955, black men leaders, prompted by college youth and educators, demanded that black studies be included in curriculums, especially on the college level. And that is going to complete this take of the 19th take. And be blessed the rest of this day. Stay tuned for take 20 here on Poem Praise 2. And be blessed, y'all. I'll holler at you later, if it be thy will. Okay? So soon and soon.